Okay.
Hmm. We are about to have a serious discussion about many matters. But first, we wish to point out that you are having an energetic exchange with the universe of love. This sounds straightforward, but it's not. It's quite elaborate. So
Hmm.
you are showing up as a spokesperson for other curious minded humans who are seeking answers to their questions. They have sent them out to the universe. The universe is answering through the host. So you are asking for them, and the answers are coming. So this energetic exchange is between many humans and the universe of love.
Mhm.
Many humans and the universe of love. It looks as if it might be just a discussion between humans, but it is not. So it's important for you yourself to understand that this is a divine expression of love from the universe. This is not an intellectual debate. This is this is a gift to mankind and an answer to their requests. So we wish to set the tone for this, for you to understand that this is not your average conversation. You will not have a conversation like this in your normal everyday life. This is the universe showing up because it cares for mankind,
Mhm.
because mankind are out working and trying to be human, and they need support for doing the difficult things there are to do in your human life. They are asking for support, and it is arriving. So we wish this to be clear, so the understanding, not just for you, but those that are in this vibration, all that are receiving this energetic energy, for everyone to understand what this is truly about. It looks like humans, but it's not.
Hmm.
So we wish that to be clear before we begin.
Very good. Okay. Well, maybe make that part of our introduction to this series of videos that we're doing, just to reinforce that point, perhaps.
Yes, it's very important to understand that this is not just some chit chat between humans.
Hmm.
It is the universe showing up for mankind, just as they are asking. But many are skeptical, you see, that the universe actually cares or gives a darn about them. And this exchange proves beyond a doubt that the universe loves the humans,
Hmm.
loves the hope that the humans are having in order to live a human life and go about day to day. The universe of love greatly supports, admires, and loves and adores humans who are going about this nasty business of humanity.
Hmm. Okay. It's not always nasty.
Oh, there's a lot of it. When they're calling out, help me. Where am I going? What is wrong with my life? When these are called out to the universe, they are in a nasty place.
Mhm.
They don't call out for help when they're sitting in love, like divine. Someone's bringing you tea and you're ever so happy. There's no calls to the universe then. Then it's silence. Then it's inward delight, which is absolutely fine. But when you're in a rough spot, when you're stuck underneath behind a tree and you're scared for your life, you call out to the universe then. So that is what we're referring to. We're referring to the times that the humans are calling out. They're calling out when they're in distress. And those are the difficult times. Of course, the times are wondrous. We often speak of the singing and dancing that only the physical body has the opportunity to do. When your energy, you can't sing and dance, you have no physical heaviness. When you do have the physical heaviness, then you may delight in it.
Mhm.
It climbs trees and swings from ropes. You skip and jump in the water. All of this can only be done during your human time. So, of course, the human lifetime is delightful to many, and the body is delight in itself to many, but not to all. To
Mhm.
some, it is a heavy burden.
Understood. Very good. So I watched a very interesting um, presentation by a fellow called Noam Chomsky. He's a well-known, we'll call him a philosopher, I guess. He speaks on issues to do with human evolution, human development. And so his presentation was really about the crises facing humanity right now. So we have a crisis with climate change and all of the destruction that's going on around the world, a lot of it driven by capitalism. But much of it too is because these like fossil fuels is such an ingrained part of our life, it's very difficult to move away from them as well. So it's not necessarily something that is easy to do because it's so much part of our humanity. The there was the other he spoke about nuclear war and the threat of nuclear war and annihilation. Omnicide, he called it, in that once somebody pulls that trigger, then likely that could be the end of the world for everybody. So it is definitely a threat that we're facing. And in related to that, his third crisis was a crisis of information, in that there's so many lies and untruths being told. And we've certainly seen this in the US with the president, where truth was not a factor at all in his presentations. It was all about how he could wield power. And he has quite a following of people, even though he was very untrue in the things that he was saying. So people are having difficulty. Like, we have social media now, but people don't read the papers so much, or news medias are owned by,
May we interrupt you? Do you think this is different at this moment than all of the time that humans have been alive on the earth? For it is not. This is the story of all of mankind. And we're wondering if you think it should be different all of a sudden. Why would it be different now than it was thousands of years ago? This is the nature of mankind. To pillage and rob and take and build. Always. It's the nature of humanity. It's the push. And right now, the pull and the push is only those that have a feeling they are more than humans. It's not many of you. Most of you feel that you are humans. And if you are human, your job is to take more than the next guy and to step on his head and move up and get your share and take more than you deserve. This has been going on all of the time on your earth. So it is the norm for humanity. Whether or not you wish to say that or believe it, it's the truth. If you were to look at mankind over thousands of years, there you are. Same today as you were back then. Humans like to think that they are much more advanced, but the underneath is the same. I will take what is mine, before you take it from me. It's an idea that you have. This is a human evolution. And this is why there are humans still alive, because many have been killed and disposed of, thinking that they were inferior, and yet more are reborn, more reborn, more reborn. So consistently, day by day, there's as many what we call these villains, really, strongholds that wish to crush others, as there are humans who wish to be crushed. So all of this time, they're not moving ahead. This discussion has been had so many times over your lives, you would find it hard to believe, but you may come to understand that this is human nature. Now, what we are really taught, we're not speaking about these particular issues because they are the same. They only have different names now. There are always humans who wish to kill others. Because they think they are correct, and that they will be the earth will be a better place once we're rid of these people. This is just a normal way of thinking. But now, because humans have learned to be more sophisticated, so they believe, they don't speak this way anymore. We will discard the humans who are not valuable to us, and we will take them off of the earth. This
Well,
is this is underneath.
yeah, I would argue that these crises that he speaks of are of such magnitude now that if they're not managed in some way proactively and positively, that it could be the end of human civilization as we know it. Like
But
we
what
didn't have nuclear bombs until 70 years ago.
but what if the actual wording of it is the actual power? Try to follow this. What if the threat of it is the fear and the power? What if it's not what if it's not true? So what we are saying is fear is all that's needed to control humans. You don't really need to have this destructive device you're speaking of. Humans have always known that the king or the other tribe were more powerful than them, that they could kill them. The fear alone kept humans small. So now again, it's just a more sophisticated way of speaking or sending information through the waves, but it's the same feeling. I need to be afraid when I'm on the earth. And I'm always looking out for the big guy, for the guy who's going to crush me. This is the same with those who groveled in the dirt and were not able to speak. They understood that the others, we don't you I liked humans today like to believe they're better than cavemen, but in this way you're the exact same. You're always fearful of your own life. So you're trying to see who's going to get me.
Mm,
So this fear, this seeking out of fear, is what bring this entire discussion that you are making to light. Because humans want to feel, they don't want to feel fearful, they are fearful. They want to know what's going to crush them. So they look and they look and they look until they find. That's the most probable thing that will crush me. I'm going to focus my energy on that. And as more and more people focus their energy on it, the fear grows. The actual thing doesn't grow, just the fear in humanity grows. Just like the cavemen were afraid of dinosaurs eating them, humans are always looking for something else that will crush them. And if you are truly able to recall this, you're not really, but follow along with us. There was a time when you yourself could have been killed by the next marauding troops. They were moving through with their swords. They don't care about you. They'll cut your head off before they ask your name.
mhm,
But now you see that fear still in you. It's passed from generation to generation. Now you're looking for the enemy. And when we speak of this vision of a human coming toward you with a sword, an axe, with blood all over it, blood all over him, you know he will kill you. He's killed others. He doesn't care. This visualization is still in your DNA, yours and all of those sitting behind you.
mm,
So you are watching for this angry faced human covered in blood with a bloody axe that's going to knock you down. No questions asked. There's no conversation.
mhm.
But so even as humans have gotten more sophisticated with the words and pretending we wouldn't do that, we must save this, we must do that, which is the language now. It's just prettied up what is truly going on. What is truly going on is there's still fear in the hearts of men. And this fear keeps you separate from the universe of love and peace and ease in your life. The more you focus on these, this will get me, or that will get us, or this will get us. And now, if you could pretend you were hundreds of years ago, there were many things you thought would kill you, and they did not. And here you stand. Here your earth is, here you are. But in each moment in time through all of history, you were sure something was going to get you, but it didn't. So now you're here thinking, now it's going to get me. What's going to get us? And humans can hide behind the us. They'll say, this is better for all of us. It's not better for all of you to live in fear. It's better for you to each of you individually to show up and connect with the universe of love. So you may have access to information. Your body, your DNA, everything will slow down. Then you can think clearly. Then you will know what's best for us. Then you know what's best for population and yourself. But until you get to a state of connection and oneness with love, with the universe, these discussions are only to raise more fear, and they drive you back to your caveman days where you're watching for dinosaurs to eat you. Do you understand this conversation?
I understand where you're going with it, and I guess I understand the theory of it. I'm having a hard time with accepting it, uh,
Yes,
that
yes.
it's just another event in the sequence of history. I guess my concern is it's like if you're in a car and you're driving straight for a brick wall and you can see the wall coming. Well, do you put on the brakes and slow down? Do you try to turn away and go in a different direction? Do you look for something tangible you can do, or do you just believe that, well, the wall is just fear and maybe it'll just fall away when I go through it. So I'm just going to ignore it and hope for the best and trust that the universe of love will protect me. And maybe it will. I don't know, but it's
No, that would be insanity. No one would encourage you to drive your car towards a brick wall and assume that it would disappear. That is not at all what we are implying during this conversation. What we are saying is that your earth has not disappeared, although there are many times, and many times that you have been here, where you were sure it was going to disappear before your lifetime was over. And yet here you sit, you and all the others, you're still sitting here right now.
mhm.
So, as each human being, if you yourself wish to truly affect mankind on a emotional level, it is not to remove problems, because when you remove it, they will find another. Guarantee, you can guarantee humans will always find something to fear, even when the last thing is cured or removed. You understand this about human nature,
Yeah,
yes?
I can understand that. Yeah, many people will focus on the things
Yes.
that
So when it is healed or cured or eliminated, it's truly not. That one thing is, but the next thing will appear. So the true answer here is, how do you live in humanity in a peaceful place and not create more fear around anything with the next thing, the next thing, the next thing? How do you stay in alignment so you may think clearly and have a true understanding of what's best for humanity instead of reacting to fear? This you can also understand.
well, maybe
You
that's where
just don't like the sound of it.
well, it's kind of where I was going with the question, I guess, is that I see a lot of action is being propagated by the inaccuracy of what's being reported in the news, or just the lack of reporting, like the issues around the control of nuclear weapons in the world. I didn't realize how the states is actively campaigning not to allow like proliferation treaties and bans on nuclear weapons, to agree to nuclear weapons free zones for the protection of you know
But
protection
why would this
on their
surprise you?
concern.
When you are speaking of, when you know the history of mankind, why would this behavior surprise you at all?
Well, one would hope that with the internet and the more access to information,
Mhm.
that people would take the opportunity to inform themselves and try and find the truth. So a lot
There's a
of
part of you, there's a part of you that's wishing for mankind to be better. Do you hear it?
yes,
There's a part of you deep inside that, because you are a kind human being and you're full of love, you're wondering why the others are not. You will always be in a minority.
hmm,
There are more who crave fear and power than seek the truth.
hmm,
So that puts an ending to many of your conversations, because it's you yourself that have a hope for humans that they'll be different, that they'll be better, but they're human.
hmm,
So what we would like to get around to is, why are they like this? Why are the humans that seek power? Why are them that wish to squash the small guy? Why are humans like this? Humans are there to have an experience. When you come in, you are full of love. Now, you yourself are the same as the other who wishes to squash mankind. And we're going to, before you argue with that one, we're going to tell you why. You're from the same place of love. When you're not in your physical, you're in the universe of love, and all you care about is oneness and love. You find this hard to believe because you're so different than they are, but follow this. When you step into a human body and leave this place, you all know that you leave. You have to leave sometime. You know, you've seen others leave. You know you're leaving. Where you go, this is what humans are not sure of. But we assure you, you're all together in the place where you don't know where you're going. So in this place where you don't know where you're going, you're one. And it's easy, it's comfortable. Why would anyone leave a place like that? Why? Why? They wouldn't. Would they? Or do they? And they do, because you are one. The host is carrying one. They leave because they wish to help the humans that are on the earth. And why? What are they going to help them with? Make bombs, kill other humans? No, that's not what they're about. They want to come and show them and remind them that they are love. When they come, their first breath is this. Their first breath of life is, I'm going to remind them that they are love by showing them my love. But they live with humans who have spent too much time on the earth and who are messed up themselves and who only know how to squash humans, kill them, and take things that aren't theirs. So they teach the little one until the little one forgets. They forgot their love at all. And then they become just like the parents, those around them that are teaching them how to live in the earth. And they change their mind, most of them. There are a few like yourself who have this notion inside. It's actually energy, and it moves you sometimes. And you cry, you get angry, you get passionate. Sometimes your heart flutters. Something happens in you, and you think something's happening outside of me that I kind of remember, but not completely. And what is it? Then you start seeking this place where you go when you're not in physical form. But this is a remembering. This is a certain, usually it's stimulated by some event, a shocking event that wakes you up. You're woken up suddenly from a dream. This is where the human connection lies. And all of a sudden you remember what you thought when you came in, which is, I am love. I'm going to remind you that you are love too. That includes the warmongers and the child killers. They are the same as you. They started the same as you, and they go back to the place of love where you're going. Now, what do you think of all of that? It's not a very human discussion. We have clarified that this is not a human discussion. So humans would never discuss things such as this. But we are a reminder for you of what you already know, what you came in knowing, but you've forgotten in the middle. And many of you will continue forgetting because it's too painful to sit in a place of love. It's a very painful place for all of a sudden you understand when you are love and the things that you have done that were unkind, how do you live with yourself in this way? Most cannot, so they do not go back there until they come back around again. Then they'll try the next time. So humans who discover love out of an emergency situation, they will seek where they are. But those who are in the middle of the mess and getting things, and they have a lot of things accumulated, they're not going to start wondering where they came from and what they are. Why would they? Because they have the world at their hands, they think. They think they control the world, their world that they live in. And they think everything is wonderful. And to them, their human experience, which is all about accumulating things and knocking off humans who are smaller than them, everything's great. You see? So in actual effect, you are hoping against hope, the same thing you believed when you were little, that you're reminding others that they are love. And you're thinking to them, step up to your highest place, brother. This is what you speak of, and those behind you. It's time to step up, step up. But you cannot make others step up. You can only step up yourself. You can get into alignment. You can walk through the world in love. You may have discussions such as you have brought up about awful human events and say, I would like to look at that from a loving place. Let us see what feels right deep inside of us, and we will know the truth. But this is a different kind of discussion. This is not the one that humans have and you have on your news and all of this business. It's not like that at all. So these discussions, these heart to heart discussions, which are truth and honesty, you must be vulnerable to have them.
Mm.
Humans are not interested in being vulnerable, for then you will be knocked off the earth, just as the cavemen were. See how this conversation has gone full circle back to this again. And you hope against hope that you're better creatures.
Mm. Well, I guess in trying to convince people to step up to the situation and perhaps think differently would be to present information or ideas to them in some different way. So this conversation can help do that in one form. But I'm thinking, well, if you could remember and then see things from a different perspective, then maybe people wouldn't be so driven by their egos and what they've known all along as the truth, right?
Yes, exactly. But how would they have a conversation with you or the host? How would this occur? They wouldn't. This is the problem, you see. It's the bridge. This is what you're talking about. You're talking about how do lovers of the world and the earth and have higher visions for themselves speak to these egomaniacs who are running things.
Hmm.
Where's the bridge? This is what you want to know. You want to know where the bridge is, because these little sweet humans, and it's all full of love and kisses, are not going into these tall buildings while the rich people are and tell them anything. They don't want them in. They're not allowed in. They'll be locked out. So where's the place in the middle? This is what you are wishing to know.
Well, part of it
But
is also access to information. Like I'm finding people don't read the news or they don't look for any information beyond what they read on social media. And this is the problem, I think, in how a lot of these issues have arisen as people are just ignorant to what's going on around them, and they don't try to find other information. So I guess the opportunity I see is, well, is there some way to remember easier and make that remembering more widespread so that people go, huh, I never thought about that way. Maybe there's a different way to react or to
and this
consider beyond what they know just in this lifetime through an egoic experience.
this is your truest energetic self, you see. Your truest calling is to help others wake up. Now, in order for you to help others wake up, they must ask you first, brother, will you wake me up when it's my time? They've not asked you. Do you see? Do you understand? You cannot go into a place where you're not welcome. You'll be locked out. The gods will shoot you. You won't be allowed in because they have said it's not your business if we are asleep. We choose to sleep. You go help with your other sweet people and pick your flowers and all of this and go skipping around. We are going to lock you out of the powerhouse because we wish to remain asleep for this lifetime. And this is absolutely their choice. As it is yours to skip around and pick flowers, because you yourself may cut off this emotional love feeling that you have inside. You are capable of this. You may cut it off and say, screw them, and go make some money and lock the doors and keep all of the other hippies out. You yourself are very much capable of this. But for you, you've seen both sides of it. And now you have a certain compassion for those who are locked out of the building. There's a part of you that's softened. We don't always like to bring this back to you, but in this point, you are representing many, you see, that have had it, but now are wondering if it was right. So you're wandering outside of we'll continue with the story about the building that's locked and security with the guns. They won't let them in, but you're allowed to come out. So you and others like you who have lived inside the building asked to come outside. You're saying, all right, I'm going to go check it out. You yourself have wandered out among the grass loving hippie love, whatever you want to call these humans outside, and you're wondering what they're up to because you are curious. Now, the curious ones will come out of the building and sit down on the grass and say, what are you guys doing? Why are you making flowers for your hair? What is happening here? The curious ones will come out because they are soft of heart. And this is you and others like you.
Mm.
And this truly will, you're going to love this. This will truly make the difference. For now, those coming out of the building one by one, because you can bet the others are watching through the window to see what's going to happen with this straight up, straight laced fella when he goes out and sits with all the loving people eating nuts and such. What's going to happen to him? Are they going to kill him like we would surely kill them if we had to? No, they're not. Because these people are about love. They care for the earth. They care for other humans. So instead of knocking you over the head with a rock, which they would do, they'll sit you down and take your coat off and put some flowers in your hair. Now all of a sudden you're softer. You're wondering now, perhaps there's something here. Perhaps there's something interesting happening here that I've missed because I've been inside that building all this time. This curiosity will soften you one by one, but you must come out of the building of your own choosing. They're not letting the lovers of the earth into the tall buildings where all the money's kept with the guards in the front. They're not. Do you understand what we mean? So we hate to tell you, but you've got to come out one by one from the building.
Well, just from what I'm gathering, then it's a personal experience for those people, and there's no way to influence them. So
Yes. Now, someone like you doesn't like to hear that because you feel as if you may influence others. You may influence others one by one, standing in who you truly are, because now you're quite adept at speaking. You're adept at speaking about who you are, and you're more comfortable with it, so you speak the truth. I speak the truth. I speak from a place of love and kindness. I care for you and others, even if you don't care for me. This is how the change happens on the earth. One by one, like this. And more will hear you, more will join. It's a slow process. You would prefer if you could get a bunch at one time. But humans are humans, and they've been this way for so long, it's comfortable for them.
that's true. I mean, the status quo, especially if you're at the top of the pile, everything is comfortable for those, for those people. And, obviously, the tendencies to want to retain power and wealth. So I
Yes.
understand that. Hmm. Anyway, I guess that where I was going with the original question was, you had said that we could learn in previous sessions, that we could learn by feeling and not have to read books any longer. They just could know. And I'm looking for, is that maybe a way to distribute truth so people become more aware of what's happening, what's truly happening, as opposed to just what we're being told in the newspapers or social media.
There's another way that humans project love energy. You're able to project it onto others without seeing them. Now, that takes a certain uh, empathy, but also decision and comfort that you are able to send energy to others. And the more of you that are in a group, the more that's able to affect the world on an energetic level. Now, this is not a mental discussion. This discussion is about healing others. For those that are in the building are as damaged as those sitting on the grass.
Hmm.
And the only way for this to heal is through energetic love. Healing just doesn't occur like, hey, I think I'll be healed. It's not like this. It's a process of feeling it and allowing it to go, and it disappears, and you become more, and you become more, and there's more space within you. And then there's more room for other events and feelings and other things to occur within your experience. But as long as the healing is not started, there's no room for hope and faith and love and wonder and curiosity, because you're full of fear and it's packed. There's no room anymore. Now, if they're unable to move that themselves, as we have said, they must decide, every human one by one, what you're going to do there. There is this possibility of humans sending love energy and healing out to a world that requires it. This is not exactly what you are speaking of, but we often mention that humans are powerful creatures, particularly with energy, because you are made of energy inside. It surrounds you. It's what creates your storms, your weather. It's all energy. So if there's a group of you joining together with the same intention, the energy is changed. The energy is joined together and sent forward to those who cry out for it. So if you're one of the ones in the building and you secretly cried out for this, you will receive it.
Hmm. So is it important to participate in the, they have like worldwide sessions where you can meditate
Ah,
to
yes,
send
yes,
loving energy to the earth and try to heal the earth and things like this.
yes,
Are those really important events for us to
yes,
participate in then?
yes. This is group energy. This is your highest selves.
Mm.
It's you remembering what it's like to be in the universe of love. For in the universe of love, you make a difference. You decide as a group, you feel as a group. This is what they're recreating. These humans you speak of are already partly in the universe of love and partly in a human body. They understand. They understand that they're energy.
Mm.
They're remembering what their first breath was about. First human breath was about sharing love with others. And this they're doing. Love is just an energy. This is what they're doing.
Hmm.
But it's also important to understand first, before you can join an energetic group allowing energy to pass through you, you yourself must be clear, a clear channel for it to pass through. For you sitting in fear and hatred and anger and sadness, nothing's going to pass through you. It's all right to sit down for a while and take a break, but the energy will not pass through you. So it's important also for you to understand singly that you're attached to the universe of love, and that you yourself are love and you're full of energy. Then you may join the others.
Hmm. So is that an individual healing that people need to do, or is that kind of becoming more aware, or how best do we do that?
Well, your individual time, you're speaking of the individual time. That is, well, it must be done alone, but it's connecting with the universe of love. Then all is healed because love heals all, all energy, all anger, all bad memories.
Hmm.
It's the only way to heal it. You can't physically take something and heal it just like that.
Hmm.
Your love must be allowed in to flow through and out. And in order to do that, that must be done alone. The human, and then join the humans that are together.
Hmm. Well, I'm thinking if people have emotional blocks, I guess that's how I'm interpreting what you're saying. Like, say they're dwelling
Yes,
on anger, guilt, or whatever the issue is,
yes,
and then that love energy can't flow through. So no matter how hard they're going to try to do this to help others, they've got to deal with their own issue first, right?
yes,
Is that
yes,
correct? Yes.
yes,
So they would need to do some sort of energetic clearing, healing to begin with, even if they had good intentions of doing something
yes,
group.
yes. We don't put those labels on it. We would just say connect with the universe of love. Then you're healed just by connecting.
Mm-hmm. You make it sound very simplistic, but I have to say I struggle with the concept of feeling like it's happening for me personally.
Yes, because you have spent a lot of time in the tower, the building,
Mm.
so you've been around others, and you've not completely ridden yourself of it. The remnants of your humanity. But it's important for you all to understand that you're perfect the way you are. No matter where you find yourself, in the building or sitting on the grass, you're perfect. You're perfect where you are right now, hoping for more, wishing for more, trying to change the world, trying to share love, be authentic inside. All these things you're trying to do are perfect for you. So when you speak of, I wish I was more like this, or I'm not quite that, the guilt in this energy blocks what you most desire. So you yourself are blocking it. You see? Do you understand what we mean?
Hmm.
It's very precise language, but when you say, I wish I were that, I'm not quite that, you're saying there's something wrong with where you are.
Hmm.
When you learn to love where you are right now, you will naturally evolve. You will naturally heal, because that's the way of the universe.
Hmm.
That's the way of your energy. It wishes to heal. It wants to heal. It wants to be whole. It wants to pass through you to others. Just your human experience slows this down.
Hmm.
So remember you're perfect where you sit, no matter what it looks like.
Hmm.
We've taken you completely off course, but is there one more thing you wish to speak of?
Well, I had a different agenda, but I think that I would like to present this information online as a recording for people. So let's just keep this with this
Yes,
topic as a topic unto itself, because I think
yes.
that's important for
It's
people.
very important for humans to understand that they're perfect where they are. Most of them think there's something wrong with them.
Hmm.
That's the human experience. There's something wrong with you. You should fix it. You should change it. Why don't you be educated? Why don't you smarten up? All of these words imply there's something wrong with you. And yet, if you are truly love energy, then there's nothing wrong at all. See?
Hmm.
So you're a little bit human, which means there's something wrong with you, and your love energy, perfect. How do these two coexist?
Well,
You
if
see?
you're,
It's a give and a take all of the time. Am I perfect or not? I don't look perfect. I don't act perfect. But you keep saying I am perfect. How is this? How can I be perfect and imperfect? You can be, because your energy contained in a human body.
hmm.
And that's the experience. I'm perfect, I'm imperfect. I'm perfect, I'm imperfect. And more times, the more that you feel you're perfect, the easier your life is. You're less fearful all of a sudden. Then you start to think, just by saying I'm perfect, my life is easier. I'm going to try it again. And then you try it again and you try it again, because most humans are curious. Once you get something, you have to hook them with the curiosity. One little thing, they'll test it out. If it works, then you've got them. Then they'll try more and more and more and more along the same vein. But
Hmm.
if it doesn't work the first time, they're going back to the building that they're comfortable in, where everyone thinks the same and acts the same and dresses the same. This is where they belong. Or they're sitting on the grass making flowers and eating nuts. Perfect, perfect, just as you are.
Well, that implies that to evolve, for oneself to evolve, that evolution and perfection are two separate, non-related things then.
Evolution and perfection?
Well, you say when we're trying to evolve as a
Yes,
human being, right? So we're trying to
yes,
move to
yes,
become something more than we are. But
yes,
that implies that you're not perfect because you're
yes,
trying to change to become something different.
yes. So
So,
we remind you that you're already perfect at this moment. You don't have to strive to it, you don't have to reach for it.
hmm,
You are perfect as you are, because you're doing the best you can at this moment. You're having human, you're balancing your spiritual, energetic self, which you know is in there somewhere. You just can't put your hand on it. And both of these are juggling like this. So you never know at one moment to the next which is going to win the jumbling. You know, which one's going to win, this or this?
hmm.
All right. We
Good.
are complete.
Thank you. Think about that.
Let us, let, let us do namaste together. Namaste.
Okay. Much love and thanks.